Warning: the following episode of Orsini's Uncensored Mind contains explicit language and adult content. The thoughts and opinions stated on the show are reflective of AJ Orsini and his guests exclusively. Seriously, guys, the show's called Uncensored. If you got a problem with bad language, I really don't give a shit.
What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? A fucking cat? Hey, don't fucking look at me like that. That's a weird looking fucking cat. Ma! Yo, there's a stray cat outside. I don't want it starting a fight with Lucy. Lucy, it's okay. It's okay, Lucy. Don't worry about it. Ma! Ma, there's a weird fucking stray cat outside. It looks like Grandma, the fucking thing. Hey, get the fuck out of here. I don't even know if that's a fucking cat. Blink, motherfucker.
Welcome to Orsini's Uncensored Mind, and now your host, AJ Orsini.
Yeah, this is your boy, your main man, your Jaff's old brother from another mother. This is your main man, AJ Orsini, and I am here with episode 71. Episode 71 here. I'm here at the House of O getting ready to put on a program for you guys here. And I have been telling you guys pretty much since the start of the new year that I have been hoping and praying and going for the opportunity here to branch out, do some different things, do some new things, especially here concerning the show. So many things going on in the world of Orsini right now. There's a ton of material that I have to get to within the next week or so. I have a bunch of killer interviews coming up. I've got a whole new set of literally everything. You're going to be hearing new audio, new music. You're going to be hearing new intros, new segments, everything new. We've got material for the YouTube channel coming out. We've got material coming up for the Podbean site that isn't going to be involved with the show. It's a different set of audio. A lot of things coming your way. I am here, of course, with episode 71. I'm speeding through this, and I don't mean to, but I'm just so excited. I am so excited. I'm Oprah excited. That was almost Oprah excited. I'm almost reaching that point of Oprah-like euphoria. I'm super excited. Because I've been trying that whole month of December. I'm not going to say I was phoning it in because that's a lie. But I definitely felt handcuffed. I just didn't have the time to do the things that I really wanted to do for the show, to really push this thing forward, to really take it to the next level in 2019. And now I feel like I'm finally running on concrete here. I finally feel like the moving feet has finally hit the ground. And I am making some serious progress. I'm super happy the way a lot of these things are turning out. And I just wanted a facelift. I wanted to do something new, keep up with the times, change it up, keep it fresh. I feel like I've been in a rut, so I need to just spread my wings and fly, you know? But some things will never change, especially that opening you just got right there, because I love hitting you guys with that song as often as random as humanly possible. Sometimes you see it coming, sometimes you don't. This one I'm pretty sure you did not. So here's the deal, folks. Like I said, I got a lot of stuff coming up in the wings here. There's a web series going to be coming out with more info on that pretty much next week. We should be farther along with that. I'll have more information on the web series. It's going to be video, so it's YouTube. So it's not audio, although I guess I could put the audio on the website. But as of right now, it's just video. It's tough to explain. I'm gonna wait. I'll explain it next week. But it's gonna be a lot of fun. Hopefully funny for you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Get a few laughs out of it. Poke fun at it. Whatever you wish to do with that material. And of course, I've got some big interviews coming up. I got some champions coming up. I got some traveling folk here. Definitely some new, fresh names on the show that you guys are going to get a chance to learn about and listen to. I cannot wait. There has been a mass rescheduling schedule. I was planning to do a bunch of these interviews all in a row and then just space them out. But as luck would have it, there's been some rescheduling, not only on their end, but on mine as well. My wife recently was ill, so I had to change some things around as far as that goes. But I hope to get as many people into this house and on this microphone as humanly possible to entertain all of you, the squad of O. I want you guys to learn more about the business and learn more about the people in said business, some talented people you may or may not have heard of. That is my job, to bring you guys the information and the people that you may or may not have heard of. Now, there's one thing also I want to mention before we get out of here. I just got started. No, before I get on to the topics of the day, there's definitely something I want to talk to you guys about, and that is the platforms. The platforms that I am on right now. I have submitted. I haven't done this in a while, but I've submitted some requests to expand out and branch out and do some other things. For those of you who are listening through a singular device, if you're listening through your Android or your iPhone, or you're listening through one program, as I stated before, and there's going to be a commercial that plays. I got tired of saying it over and over and over, so I made a commercial for it. You guys will hear the commercial about halfway through this shit. For those of you who are unaware, we are on several platforms, and I say we because I'm no longer the only one working on this show, which is something else I'll get into a little later on here. But the show, is on many platforms. You'll hear the commercial that gives you all the platforms. And I've recently submitted some information to expand out and get the show out onto other platforms. But I've already on so many of the major ones. So if you have any of those apps, the iHeartRadio app, the Spotify app, all those big major ones, I'm on there, bro. So check out Orsini's Uncensored Mind. If one program isn't working, you can always switch over to the next. I felt the need to bring that up because I've been hit up a few times when I've had people ask me to send them a link to the show or send them the show because their player wasn't working or whatever. And they're like, hey, I want to listen to the show, but Podbean's down or whatever the case may be. There are other platforms. I may not be able to get you the show. The show's on my laptop. All of my shows, all of the material I've used for it, all the bits and the cuts and everything, unedited versions and edited versions and yada yada, are all on my laptop. So if I don't have my laptop with me, I can't get to the fucking episode. So make sure you try the other platforms. There are other platforms that the show is on: Google Play Music, Spotify, Stitcher, yada yada yada. I don't want to go through the whole rogue gallery. There's a commercial coming up right now, or not right now, about halfway through the show, where you guys can check that out and listen to that real quick, and it'll give you all the directions you need to know to stay up on Orsini's Uncensored Mind. So those are just some of the updates there. I made mention of some different audios, some different segments. We have some segments in the works coming up, some different things to make the show a little bit more interesting and definitely pick up different types of conversation. You guys, of course, are free at all times, and I've done it a few times. I don't have a segment where it comes to like fan mail or questions or whatever the case may be. I tried that in the beginning, the Q&As, working title, of course. And the problem was I was finding myself answering questions more casually than I was during a segment. I didn't like waiting till the end or waiting till the segment to answer questions. I just like to do it naturally, apparently. Just get right into it and just say what I got to say. So just because I don't make a big deal out of it doesn't mean that I'm not answering some of these questions, especially when the topics seem as random as definitely one you'll hear today that's random as fuck. But when you definitely hear me say something random or discuss something random as shit, that usually comes from, I want to say, fan. It's a message that goes to the page. So, yeah, fan. Because most of you fans have become friends. Now I have you guys on my Facebook, and we talk outside of the realm of the show at this point now. I'm pretty social with just about everybody. So, but yeah, you can do that. You can send me messages. You can send me emails, questions, comments, anything you want on the show. I've encouraged in the past people, if you wanted to do audio sound bites, if you want to ask me an audio question, you can do that. I've played those on the show before. I love those, actually, because you can get your point across. You can get your tone. You can get the information you want out there, not said by me. You can get your own version out there, and I'll answer the question, or I'll discuss the topic, or whatever the case may be. I'm not all wise and all knowing. I know a lot, but I don't know everything. So it doesn't have to be a question per se. You can literally hit me up with a comment, and we'll just discuss the comment or discuss the topic or whatever the case may be. I don't have any of those new segments for this show. It's jam-packed with some other stuff. I didn't have time really to fit it in But we're definitely, during the course of the next few weeks, what are we at? Episode 71 here, as we start inching ever so closer to our mid-70s here. We are going to start to see an evolution. You're going to start to see some change with Rossini's Uncensored Mind, and I'm extremely happy and proud about it. It's been a long time coming. I've been trying. I don't like being stagnant, and I felt like I was stagnant for like 4 or 5 straight weeks. I was just trying to keep myself motivated and keep you guys entertained, and I was trying to juggle a whole lot. I have a new semester of classes coming up, but they're not as taxing, I guess you could say. I have one serious class. All right, all the other ones are pretty basic. I'll be able to do. I think I'll be fine. I have a biology class coming up, so there's going to be a lot of flashcards and a lot of studying coming up for the next few months, but I should be okay. I should be fine. And I just needed a break, and I did get my break. Unfortunately, the time in which I took my last class and now, which by the way, I don't start my classes till the end of this month, so I still have a nice 2-week span here of really getting some serious work done on this show, and I can set myself up pretty lovely for the next few months if I play my cards right and be smart. But this time that I've spent away from school is supposed to be the time where I'm the least stressed, and I've been more stressed than when I was in school. We moved. My son had a little injury, which I didn't really get a chance to get into. I'm going to get into it now. I don't know why I didn't mention it before. I guess because I was too busy telling other shit. But my son received an injury for Christmas, so to speak. That went down. And then, of course, it's the general unboxing and stress of new work routes, and it's fucking freezing outside, and we just got coats, and there's a lot of shit on the plate. Anywho, one of the topics I definitely want to talk about was I want to talk about Christmas and what happened on Christmas. And the reason why I didn't mention it right away or during that time period is because I kind of wanted to see how it played out first. If it became super serious, probably wasn't going to let it out. But since we're laughing about it now, we can go ahead and discuss. So I want to tell you guys an Orsini Christmas story. I know it's a little late. We're midway through January, but bear with me on this. A little bit of an Orsini family Christmas story. Okay? 'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not much was stirring, barely even a starving mouse. I changed things around for copyright issues. Off to the restroom, off to the toilet, off to make tinkle and tick. My son lifted up the toilet seat to take a piss, and it slammed down on his dick. I'm freestyling right now. I didn't plan on rhyming, but here we go. The story is exactly what I just said. He lifted up the toilet seat to take a fucking piss. And he did it, as a parent, if you're a parent listening to this, you understand where I'm headed with this, okay? You tell your kid a thing 1,000 times, and he just looks at you with the same goofy fucking face that he always does. Like, the face. He just gives you the face. So in my previous apartment, we had wooden toilet seats. And we had the toilet where the plumbing is on the outside. It's not like a casing around it. It's just like this metal rigging or whatever. So whenever he had to go to the bathroom, he'd slam the fucking seat up. He would just throw it the fuck up, and he would pee or whatever, and he wouldn't slam it, but it would slam because he would just like tilt the seat down and let it drop with all of its weight, and of course it would slam. And we would tell him 1,000 fucking times, don't throw the seat up, don't let the seat slam. Did he ever listen? No, not even once. Kept doing it over and over and over and over and over. And I told him, I said, you're gonna hurt yourself. Well, the new apartment does not have wooden toilet seats. It has basic ass plastic lightweight fucking seats. So my son decided, I'm gonna lift the toilet seat up, take a piss. So he does what he normally does, throws the fucking seat back and goes to take a piss. Jokes on him, however, when he threw the seat back, the seat snapped. It went back and then snapped forward and clamped right down on the entire head of his dick. Now here's the deal. I was not home when this happened. My wife was home. So he's screaming his head off. She calls me on the floor. She's panicking. Oh, excuse me. I said floor. Phone. Called me on the phone. She's panicking. What do I do? What's going on? I said, hold on. I'm on my way. I get home. He seems okay by the time I got home. But they got a sock on his dick. There's a sock on his dick. And I'm wondering, why is there a sock on his dick? Well, apparently what had happened was she was so freaked out, she called 911 just to see what they think that she should do. She was trying to get some medical advice here, and they asked her to apply pressure to the head, and we had just moved in, so we don't have a whole lot of options here. I think our towels were still boxed up, all kinds of stuff. The only thing we had was a pile of clean clothes, and within that clean clothes was one lone black and neon green sock that was now laid upon the head of the cock of my son. EMTs did come, but we didn't go anywhere. They just came to take a look at it and referred to the doctor. Doctor gave their medical advice. The bottom line is we were just going to wait this out. Now, this happened, say about 5, perhaps even 6 p.m. Christmas Eve. And the whole head of his dick, black or purple, whichever way you want to fucking go with it. It was bruised as shit. So, here in New York, not a lot of doctors open Christmas Day. So there's a few clinics that stay open no matter what, holidays, yada, yada, yada. So we decided we were going to do a walk-in clinic. But before we did that, I mean, it's Christmas, right? So at night, when the incident happened, we didn't really think much of it. We went to bed, tried to sleep it off. We wake up the next morning. Every morning, he's got to do a morning piss. And he gets up to pee. And essentially, it felt like someone took the back end of their teeth and just gnawed on that bitch like a Slim Jim. Okay, it just felt like a sharp pain. He was screaming his head off. A whole fucking deal. He was like that for about 2 to 3 weeks. Almost. That's why I say we're out of the woods. About a week or so ago, we were truly out of the woods. He's feeling better. So what happened was he was scared to piss. So he wouldn't pee. He was just holding his pee for forever. So he's doing pee-pee dances. He's leaking through the dick. Eventually, we went to the doctor the next day on Christmas. They told him to pee in the tub, warm water. Usually it tends to help, yada, yada, yada. It was a whole ordeal. And sure enough, as it would be our luck in this family, we finally get into a new home, and there's blood all over the fucking toilet seat. It's a decrepit dick just flopping about. It was a very wonderful, bloody Christmas. That's what it was for us. We still did the Christmas stuff, gifts and all that stuff, gifts and all of that. And he did so with a bruised penis. So now we have the ultimate Christmas story. And I can't wait to tell his future girlfriend about the time that he snapped his dick when he was 3. So I could just give her like the disclaimer. I said, hey, if you come across anything weird when you're down there, just know it wasn't us. This dumbass right here is the one that did everything, slamming his dick slamming the toilet seat into his dick. That's what he gets. Don't you understand that? Don't you understand that? It was a cruel charade, is what it was. So that was my little Christmas story. My son getting his dick crushed in a toilet seat. I can hear him now in the other room. He's probably still feeling it, like the jackass that he is. He jumped, slamming that damn toilet seat. How many times do you tell your kids something and they fucking do it anyway? What is this right here? What is this? Hold on. Let's turn this up. I want to know what this is. Let's do this live. I don't care.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Oh, word. Ain't nobody got time for that. Hold up. Did I just stumble upon a folder? What is this? Oh, perhaps. Okay, there you go. Apparently, I must have got that wrong. What is this? These are not labeled. What is this? Oh, these are drops, dude. What are we doing with this? Hold on a second. Drops? What number? These are numbered, though. Oh, yeah. Okay, this is going to be a lot of fun. I wish they were... Oh, no, they are labeled. Wait. But it's in the description, so I can't see it. What is this? DSR slow. What the fuck? Is this a gunshot? What is this? Everybody put your hands in the air. Yeah. Everybody put your hands in the air. I like that one. Okay, we're good. We'll use that one. I'll use that one later for something else that I'm going to be discussing. So we're going to move on to some wrestling stuff right now. We're moving on to some wrestling stuff. We'll get away from the personal stuff. One of the things that we really want to get into here is we're going to clear up some misconceptions. We're going to take the information straight from the horse's mouth. None of this secondhand bullshit. Okay, we're going to go straight to the horse's mouth. Obviously, the big talk not only a week ago, All Elite Wrestling, a lot of stuff going on with AEW becoming the talk of the town here, and one of their biggest stars, Chris Jericho, shocked the world shocked the world, broke the one promise he always held to Vince McMahon. He would never compete against him on the U.S. soil, and he is now doing that. He has signed a 3-year deal. If you follow me on Instagram, I shared the video from All Elite Wrestling confirming that the man has signed the contract. He has signed the deal. Black ink, folks. It's real. Tony Khan, Chris Jericho in the video, making it official. Apparently this has been in the works for some time, trying to get the right deal, trying to get the right situation down for all involved. You hear that a lot when discussing All Elite Wrestling. It just seems like everybody tried to get their ducks in a row for this, and they're just doing business the right way, man. They're just doing it all the right way. And we're gonna discuss some of this stuff with Chris Jericho, because I shared something the other day that I thought was interesting, and it got a little bit of a push from people, but I want to go more in depth with this. So a lot of people were under the impression that Chris Jericho shocked the world, and the world included Vince McMahon. That he had surprised Vince McMahon with this, that he was doing a sort of the heel turn on Vince and betraying him and betraying his trust and all this other stuff. Now, there's two sides to every story, of course, but finally we've got some semblance of the truth. We at least have the one side, and that's from Chris Jericho himself. Now, for those of you who don't know, and I'm pretty sure anyone who listens to my podcast probably does already know, that Chris Jericho has his own podcast. Talk is Jericho is what it's called. You can find that very easily on the Google machine. He's also on a bunch of platforms, and he's definitely not just on the one. So you can check that out. Google that. Check out Talk is Jericho. You can listen to all his episodes there. I listen to it from time to time when I'm on the bus or whenever I've got a long drive or something. It's a great listen every single time. But the most recent episode is what we're going to talk about. I'm not going to go through it word for word. Obviously, there's some transcripts that have been floating around from what was discussed. So we're going to take it back to the beginning here, because one of the things that we need to absolutely clear up amongst people, and I'm glad that he said all this, is the misconception not only of Chris Jericho surprising Vince McMahon, but how this all happened. Was he conspiring behind his back? Was he screwing over the WWE? Did the WWE screw him over? Is there any bad blood? Is there hate? Is this now a true rivalry? All that was discussed and so much more, and we'll get into some of the cliff notes right here. So let's start off at the top here. The truth is Chris Jericho surprised a lot of people. That's just what it is. A lot of people were surprised. I said it on the last podcast when discussing AEW. I felt very nervous, and I was very skeptical about a lot of the things that AEW was doing up until I saw Chris Jericho. And just like everything in life, when you see Chris Jericho, you just take it for real. It's serious now, because he's just one of those players. But the misconception was that Vince did not know what was going on, and he was just as shocked. And the truth is, from Chris Jericho's point of view, of course, we'll never know Vince McMahon's side of it. So we'll just have to go with what Jericho was saying. And what Jericho was saying is he's kept abreast, he's kept Vince abreast, I should say, on all of his moves, wrestling related. Obviously, he doesn't confer to Vince for the Fozzy stuff, but for the wrestling stuff, he pretty much has. And he has kept him up to date with all of his decisions. And the more he did that, the more he kind of floated away. So let's get more specific here. Originally, when his contract was pretty much over just before the WrestleMania match with Kevin Owens, this goes back to 2017. And I remember hearing about it, and I guess we're confirming it here, that the rest of the contract, or the rest of the time he spent in WWE, were handshake deals, basically getting to WrestleMania just to put Owens over for the U.S. Championship. Now, the bad blood, this is not part of the transcript, but from what I understand, from the things that I've heard and from the things that people have discussed, there was already some sort of resentment there on somebody's side. I don't know if it's WWE's or Jericho's, where the original plan for that Jericho-Kevin Owens matchup was a Universal Championship matchup. It was supposed to be a main event. They were the two hottest guys in the company. Owens was the Universal Champion for God knows how many months, so the opportunity kind of just fit. And from what I understand, from what I heard, again, it's all rumor, and I don't usually deal in rumor, but we're just trying to fill in some gaps here, so let's play along just for a second. That the Universal Championship was supposed to be the focus of that feud, down to the dropping, meaning February, which is when Kevin Owens actually did drop the belt. He dropped it to Goldberg, but I do believe the original plan for that was for some sort of multi-man match where Jericho would walk away with the championship, not pinning Owens. And then that would lead to Owens and Jericho going to WrestleMania, Jericho as Universal Champion, and Owens defeating Chris Jericho for the Universal title, making him a 2-time at WrestleMania. That's what I was under the impression of at the time. So that's not in the transcript. I'm just trying to be fair about some sort of context of where this is headed. Jericho said that after his WrestleMania match against Kevin Owens, he left the WWE to concentrate on Fozzy. Now, Fozzy, at that time, during the summer anyway, I believe, they had just put out a new album. And that single, Judas, exploded, dude. It's still one. I've listened to that whole album a few times, and it's still one of my favorites. And it just took off, and he was touring, and they were doing a bunch of things. Also, during that summer, while in the midst of all this Fozzy stuff, he got a call from a good friend, Don Callis. Don Callis, obviously, he works with New Japan. He's one of the American ambassadors for New Japan. And he pitched an idea to Jericho about him wrestling Kenny Omega at the Tokyo Dome for Wrestle Kingdom. And, of course, Jericho, we all know Jericho took the deal eventually. But he did, even for that, he discussed it with Vince McMahon. It was something that he discussed. The original contract was a one-off. It was him versus Omega. It was supposed to be a one-off, we should say. Jericho even made money off of the pay-per-view buys, so that's why he was so motivated. But he said he called Vince McMahon, and that Vince McMahon was very positive about it. His exact quote, he was very accommodating, very excited about it. He thought even if you're working for New Japan, everyone knows you're a WWE guy. And I was like, it's just going to make me a bigger star when I come back. And that's Jericho saying that. Then the Jericho Omega match happened. A very solid match. It was a good match. And that was supposed to be it. Jericho had voiced some interest in working something with Tanahashi. But Gato, who was the booker over there, had pitched Naito. Naito being one of their most talented young boys over there. Well, he's not a young boy. I forgot. Over there, it's a different term. Excuse the disrespect. Naito's not a young boy. He's definitely one of the young up-and-coming stars in New Japan, and I guess Gato thought that was a much better idea than working with Tanahashi at the time. So Jericho did a whole deal where he worked the match with Omega, and then he immediately beat up Naito. That's where some concerns started creeping in, and he got a call from Vince McMahon asking about the Naito thing, and I thought it was just a one-off. And Jericho kind of cleaned it up by saying, yeah, it's a one-off, and we're just leaving the door open in case I change my mind, and at least if nothing happens, I leave with my heat. And, on paper, that sounds good, on paper, but there's where you start to see a little bit of the concern. So we move forward then. So after the Naito situation, Y2J signs a 3-match deal with New Japan. 3-match, not a time period. Those matches can happen anytime. Around that same time, when he signed the 3-match deal, Vince called Jericho to do the Raw 25 special. That's the 25th anniversary of Raw. Jericho did appear, but according to Jericho, he didn't want to appear in the ring. He didn't really want to appear on the show at all. He did it as a favor. So we did a backstage deal with Elias, which still ended up being one of the better segments on that show. I remember that. And pretty much after that, he was also given an opportunity to do the Greatest Royal Rumble. Obviously, everyone was on board. Well, not on board, but aware of the fact that it was supposed to be The Undertaker and Rusev in a casket match. It got changed to Taker Jericho in a casket match, and then back to Rusev Taker at the Greatest Royal Rumble. Jericho is of the belief that the 3-match deal is what changed everything. That's the match that got the deal that got him pulled out. He ended up still being in the actual Rumble, but now we're starting to see the slippery slope again. So after he won the IWGP Intercontinental Championship, he called Vince McMahon and pitched a SummerSlam Intercontinental Champion versus Intercontinental Champion match against Seth Rollins. So that was a rumor when it happened. There was a lot of discussion, a lot of internet talk, but Chris Jericho was here confirming that he did actually pitch this. Vince didn't want to do it, even with a non-finish, and never called Jericho back. That was the response that he got. So it never even got off of the idea setting. It was immediately cut. No joke. Didn't even give it a second thought. Chris Jericho did the cruise thing. He wanted NXT to be a part of it, which again was all rumor. Now we're confirmed. He actually did attempt to do NXT first. They declined. Ring of Honor agreed, and the first talents to do it to sign up were the Young Bucks, followed by Cody, followed by Omega, and that led to a group text in which they became friends. Oh joy, they became friends. Well, that's nice. Then Y2J started hearing about Tony Khan, and we all know where this is headed here. Jericho was told that Khan was interested in doing a pro wrestling company and wanted Jericho to meet. They got to talking. Jericho heard about All In. He wanted to do something, but he was still kind of in that crossroads, working a match or working in a company that was against the WWE. He really didn't feel comfortable with that, so we all saw the segment that happened. He was dressed as Pentagon. He attacked Omega. That sets him up for the cruise. Jericho asked Cody Rhodes what his idea was for All In. Once Cody explained it, he was all for it. It was after All In where Jericho started to get the itch a little bit, and that's when Tony pitched an initial offer, right around All In. Jericho describes it as a real NHL offer. We've been seeing videos of him online recently stating AEW is giving him more money than he's ever made in his entire career. Hence, I guess, the 3-year deal. And Jericho was having fun. Jericho was traveling around. Jericho was doing his music deal. He's doing wrestling. He's getting all over the place, and here comes AEW out of the woodwork here. But again, we go back to the whole never wanted to work against Vince McMahon deal. Once the AEW talk started, it wasn't really official. It was just talk, and I guess it gave him the bug because here's another confirmed rumor. It was a rumor, but here's another Jericho confirmation here. And his exact words, I'd worked for WWE for 19 years, loved WWE, but then I put myself in Chris Jericho's shoes back in 1998 when I was contemplating leaving WCW and thinking, how much further can I go in WCW under these rules, under these conditions? And out of nowhere, here comes Impact Wrestling. And this is another rumor or discussion that took place online that is actually getting confirmed. He seriously thought hard, his exact words. Said that he thought very hard about working with Impact Wrestling as well. He said they were going to spend some money on Y2J and let him work with Callahan and Impact and Cage and Swan. Then Tony Khan came in with the biggest offer Jericho has ever received in his entire career. Still, it was a hard decision to make because of those ties. AEW is not the WWE. It just isn't, and he knows that. The problem is was he willing to bet on himself and make AEW either equivalent or as big time as it possibly could in the face of that kind of competition? And I guess the answer now we all know is yes, hence why he signed the deal. We have to wonder if Chris Jericho's decision would have been different. Yeah. So one other tidbit that was that I had glossed over accidentally because it was kind of a significant part, which I apologize for glossing over. The time that he was in Japan when he won the Intercontinental Championship, they wanted him to do the other Saudi Arabian show, Crown Jewel. They wanted him to be on the show. He was asked by the Prince. Vince was asked by the Prince to bring Chris Jericho, and Jericho had a tour show in Japan. And he almost knocked my whole damn phone over. And he told, Vince McMahon asked Chris Jericho if he could make the show. And he said, technically, I'm in Japan, so it'd be very hard to do that. But technically, also technically, reverse that, I can very much make the show if I've got a private jet. If you can get me a plane from Osaka to Abu Dhabi or whatever the fuck it's called, then I can make the show. He never received a phone call back. That plane never came. And that offer went away. However, on the flip side, when AEW needed him for something, they flew Jericho out on their private plane. Tony Khan has his own private plane. And that was a signal right there. And now Chris Jericho has I'm not saying it's the deciding factor, but it was definitely a sign. That line I just read to you now about looking back into his 1998 self and what he was doing in WCW, that was the clicker right there. And it just adds, all this stuff just adds more fuel to the fire of what I was saying before about how he could be such an instrumental part of what they're doing over in AEW. And now that I'm reading all this and hearing him talk and hearing how happy he is and everything that's been going on, a motivated Chris Jericho is a dangerous Chris Jericho. And I think toward the end there in his WWE run, he was doing some of the best stuff in his entire career. And I don't think he was motivated because of WWE. He was motivated because of his friend Kevin. And when that went away, what was the point really in any of it? And now he left. He went back into the music. He takes these breaks, and he resurges, and he regenerates, and he gets all kinds of better. What is this? All right, I'm definitely going to turn this off now so that doesn't happen. So for AEW, man, he's going to be a huge piece to the goddamn puzzle. He really is, and I cannot wait to see what he does in AEW. I'm genuinely excited now for AEW just on the Chris Jericho front. I know there's a lot of new guys coming up in the company that on a national level, they're going to be fresh, they're going to be new talents. I mean, I've seen all these guys before, and I know they're pretty good. But I want to see these guys and then a Chris Jericho or whoever else they decide to bring in on that main event time. Because I know the whole point of the AEW is they want to build as many stars as possible. They want to do things differently. They want to tell different stories. They want to bring a different style. So fresh seems to be the word of the day here with these people. So let's go ahead and let's get fresh. Speaking of fresh, the very next WWE pay-per-view coming up is the Royal Rumble, one of my favorite pay-per-views of all time. I know it's one of yours as well. And last year, we did something really crazy and a lot of fun, and I cannot stress enough how bad I want to do this again, so I think that we will. So the next pay-per-view coming up is the WWE's Royal Rumble pay-per-view. It will be coming to us from Phoenix, Arizona. I cannot wait. It's going to be, I think it's a stadium. Is it a baseball field? I believe that it is. And it's in Phoenix, Arizona. It's going to be a big night for a lot of fucking people. There's a lot of potential things that are going to be happening on this show, not including the 2 Royal Rumbles, which we're at. Now we've got 2 Royal Rumbles, one for the men, one for the women. Obviously, the winner of those matches will go on to face the champion of their choice, apparently, at WrestleMania. We've got Lesnar versus Finn Balor now. We have to get into that in a second for the Universal Championship. Fatal 4-Way for the Cruiserweight Championship. Buddy Murphy, Akira Tozawa, Kalisto, and Hideo Itami. The WWE Championship match. Daniel Bryan defending against AJ Styles. The SmackDown Women's Championship. Asuka defending against Becky Lynch. Raw Women's Championship. Ronda Rousey versus Sasha Banks. The Bar and Shane McMahon and The Miz will combat for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. And of course, Rusev will defend, his United States Championship against Shinsuke Nakamura. Of course, this is a huge day for Rusev because the Royal Rumble does land on Rusev Day. That could be home court advantage almost for Rusev. Those are 9 matches that are taking place in the Royal Rumble. I don't see much movement taking place from here on out. I think everything from here on out is basically going to be fucking it's just going to be promotion. That's it at this point. There isn't going to be many more changes to that. That's going to be your card for the Royal Rumble. I mean, every single championship, it appears every single championship except for the Intercontinental Championship, which is also something we will discuss, will not be on the line. Well, actually, let's go ahead and discuss that. Raw and SmackDown took place this week, and there were a lot of changing around. So we'll start with the Universal Championship. Braun Strowman was the man who was originally slated to go against Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble. That has since been changed. Braun is out. Now, storyline-wise, kayfabe, if you will. Braun Strowman was in the middle of the ring and decided that he was going to shoot yet another promo against Brock Lesnar. He's 0 for 2 on those promos, by the way, against Brock Lesnar. Only to be interrupted by Baron Corbin, who went out there and blew as much hot air as a human being could possibly blow. And Braun Strowman would chase after him. That leads to a foot race in which Baron somehow, Twinkle Toes over here, was able to physically escape the very vision of Braun Strowman with his nifty speed and lead Braun Strowman to an empty backstage area in which a singing angel, if you will, Elias, gives Braun all the information he needs. Baron Corbin is in this limo, and he destroys the limo, and we learned earlier in the program that Vince was in the building, and that was his limo. We all knew it was his limo as he was destroying it. We come back from commercial. Vince is pretty pissed off about that. He fines him $100,000 and takes away his championship match at the Royal Rumble. As time would progress, We then had a fatal 4-way match to determine a new number 1 contender for Brock Lesnar. Those 4 men contained Drew McIntyre, John Cena, Finn Balor, and the 4th guy was Drew McIntyre, John Cena, Finn Balor, Baron Corbin. So, of those 4, if you had to pick a guess on who would win that match, chances are you wouldn't have chose the one who did win. Finn Balor will go to the Royal Rumble to face Brock Lesnar for the WWE Universal Championship. But you just have to ask the question. You've got to ask the serious question of what do you do now? And that's a serious question. What do you do now? This is the matchup a lot of people have been wondering about for a long time, because Finn Balor has indeed never gotten a rematch for a WWE Universal Championship he never lost. He should have been the number 1 contender the minute he put his boots back on, and yet hasn't been. He has not been that guy this entire time. He's been competing in great matches and then not so great matches. He's been competing in great feuds and then not so great feuds, and he's been having kind of a somewhere in the middle situation. Now here we go. Get the big push. He does the big show up at the NXT UK Takeover show, which was a badass show, by the way. Love that show. Has a great match with one of his former students, Jordan Devlin. Gets back on a plane, heads over to Raw, competes against Jinder Mahal in a match in which he cheats his ass off and screws Jinder Mahal over, as per usual, because no one can beat Jinder straight up, hand to hand. It just doesn't happen that way. They have to pull some sort of underhanded tactics, and there was plenty of them there. Finn Balor would cheat his way past Jinder Mahal to get into the Fatal 4-Way that I just mentioned, and then not only to win the Fatal 4-Way, but to pin the 16-time world champion, to beat the man who isn't Becky Lynch. Huge push. This is happening. Big push. Push as in beat Lesnar? Who knows? But I tell you this, you ain't gonna see Finn Balor fight Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble. No fucking way, no way, no how. The only way he fights this match against Brock Lesnar is the Demon. There's no other way to do this. There's no logical way for you to tell me that 190-pound Finn Balor has a fucking chance in hell against the Beast Incarnate. No chance. A lot of people have said this. I concur. There are ways to write this creatively to where Finn Balor very well could win the WWE Universal Championship. And I'm not trying to play devil's advocate. I'm just trying to clarify for people, because there are a lot of people online killing this shit. Well, that kills it for me. Making it easy for Brock Lesnar to make his way to WrestleMania. Finn's got no shot. Well, here's the deal. We thought AJ had no shot. And AJ gave him the best match in a long time, 2017. And then Brock and Daniel Bryan get together. We think Daniel Bryan's got no shot. And they ended up having one of the best matches on the card, maybe one of the best matches of the year. So Lesnar's 2 for 2 here, working with these little guys and getting these moves over. And which I think at this point in time in his career should be the only purpose that he has. He really shouldn't be the champion anymore. I know he does more good as champion, because it's not just nostalgic and it's not just ooh and ah, he's a big guy. He's the champion. He's a destroyer. He can't be beat. The thought process is if he somehow manages to get his hands on anybody, he should defeat them. So storyline wise, creatively, you bring in the Demon, he's got a shot. Without it, this is going to be easy pickings. This would be a cakewalk, if you will. But I hope that it's not. I hope the Demon comes. I hope we have a competitive matchup, and I don't really care who wins the championship. I just want to see the championship more often. That's it. And I know that if Brock wins, we won't be able to see that, especially with his health issues now that we haven't even yet to talk about. Also on Raw, what took place, Intercontinental Championship on the line, Dean Ambrose defending against Seth Rollins, and the almighty Bobby Lashley triple threat match. IC title changes hands. Bobby Lashley, your new Intercontinental Champion. And all I have to say about that entire situation is, Jesus Christ, I am so happy that it happened. Not because it's Bobby Lashley. I don't really care much for Bobby Lashley. I need Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins about as fucking far away from each other as humanly fucking possible. I'm done. I want nothing more to do with it at all. The feud is over. It's run out of gas. Now, I don't know if it's them, if it's the rule change or strict rules or whatever the case may be. That first feud they had was absolute money. Fire. The second one sucked. No life in it. Done. Boring. Okay? We need to redo this. So I'm okay with redoing it. You got to bring in the right people. You know. But I'm okay with reprising. I'm okay with doing it. We need to do something else with Rollins and Ambrose. Lashley, on the other hand. I don't... The favorite pose thing, it's funny. I like it when he hits him. I love hit him with the double bicep, baby. Yeah. Give him that full... Right there, I'm doing it right now. You can't see it because it's audio, but I'm doing the flex right now. You do the big upper body, get those delts going. Yeah. Get one of those muscles that like run underneath the armpit, make it look like you got gills or something that's just super huge. Like that. And then, of course, you hit him with the favorite pose. Those glutes, baby. Show him those glutes. And he should show them off. You work hard for those glutes. He needs to keep those glutes together. It's a good time. Him as the Intercontinental Champion, I'm with it. I just want to see where it goes. I want to see who he competes against. I think just like in all actuality with the Intercontinental Championship, I think it's a stepping stone. I think that's why I no longer want to see Dean and Seth fight over it. You guys are supposed to be the top of the food chain. You're not supposed to be fighting for the Intercontinental Championship. Not at this point. Now, I know what you're saying. Well, they can't compete for the Universal title. Champion's never around. Maybe that changes now. I don't know if Finn is the one to beat him, but if he is, Finn and Ambrose, Finn and Rollins... sounds a lot better than Ambrose and Rollins. I'm done. No more Rollins and Ambrose. I cannot state that enough. One other piece of Raw news. A lot of stuff came out of Raw this week that I was actually very interested in. Another piece of Raw news. Those women tag team championships look sexy. They look muy delicioso, man. I looked at those belts, and I didn't care who fucking wore them. I want to fuck you while you wear it. Absolutely, that belt. You may not even need to be in the room. I may just fuck the crease on that belt. You don't know. Those belts are attractive, is what I am trying to say. But unveiling the belts was not all we got. Our brand new talk show here with our brand new talk show host, Alexa Bliss, and her show, A Moment of Bliss, has so far run pretty unsmoothly, but this announcement was pretty dope. She unveils the tag team championship and then proceeds to tell us that an elimination chamber. It's going to be 3 women teams from Raw, 3 women's teams from SmackDown, and they will compete inside the elimination chamber. And the winning team will become the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. Now, here's the deal. A lot of support for the belt. The belt looks good, but a lot of confusion. People thinking, well, is it the Raw belt or a SmackDown belt? And the answer is, it's both. Why? They don't have enough women per show to create their own individual tag teams yet. They don't have enough to cover that base. You need them together. I love those belts. They look great. And the Elimination Chamber match sounds interesting. I can't wait to see who the 3 teams are going to be. I tell you this, I got my money on the face breaker, baby. I would love to see Nia Jax and Tamina get it. If for no other reason than whatever tag team they put in this match, they might be the 6th team of the 6, which is all the more reason they should get it. They need the help. You take those 2 ladies, you put the tag straps on them, you get a nice little brutal feud going, and just have them beat some chicks up along the way, get them over as bruisers. That way, when they drop the belts, and you know they will, they'll be great heels to work against every single time. Get you some heat there, brother. So I don't know who the teams are going to be, but I don't really care. I think the face breaker and Tamina should be just fine. As long as it's not because I keep hearing names pitched all the time. And the 2 sets of names that bother me all the time. The first tag team champions, should they be the Bellas or should they be Lita and Trish? How about none of the above? All 4, I will give some measure of credit. Some more than others, obviously. The Bellas whatever. You got to respect them, though. They've been around for a while. They've been doing shit. They've brought a lot of third-party interest to pro wrestling, so I'll give them their due. But the Bellas are the past. Trish and Lita are the past. I don't need the first tag team champions to be a relic of the past. Having them be stars today would be just fine. Just fine. You have a litany of stars. Bayley and Sasha are a tag team. It used to be Naomi and Asuka, but now Asuka is defending a SmackDown championship, so who knows? But there's a litany of women that they do have they can choose from. They don't need to dig into the old gym bag and pull out and dust off these old robots. It's fine. We've got enough people. Let's make this work. On the SmackDown side, my wife finally got a chance to see Mustafa Ali's entrance, which is a dope entrance. It's a dope entrance. And he's not a bad performer either. But the one thing from SmackDown you absolutely have to take away, Rey Mysterio, Andrade Cien Almas, they put on a clinic, a classic. They tore it the fuck up. The chemistry was ridiculous. These two guys went out there and showed your lucha libre, baby, still works. And it's a little blend. It's a little lucha libre, a little American style, a little WWE style. It was a perfect blend of something different. Something different. What is the fucking point of releasing handcuffs if you just won't let the guy do what he does? Take the handcuffs off, back the fuck up, and just let him create magic. They went out there, I don't think it was any more than 20 minutes, maybe even less. But man, they made the most of every fucking minute they had. And Zelina Vega is a genius. Zelina Vega is one of the best valets I have ever seen in my entire fucking life. And for the record, folks, I've seen them all. I have seen them all. Any valet worth knowing in this business, I have seen in their prime. And Zelina is one of the best. One of the best. The way that she does things, the way that she emotes, her facial expressions, her commitment to what's happening in the ring, her ability to still get over whilst never overshadowing. She always puts Andrade first and yet still manages to always walk away with a little bit herself. That's the mark of a great manager. A great manager is able to get himself over, but not at the expense of the person he's managing. That person is a number one. That is the person you're supposed to be looking after. That is the person you're supposed to be speaking on behalf of. And more importantly, that is the person you're supposed to be defending in the public eye. She's clearly one of the best. And it's getting him over big time. And that match was ridiculous. It was great. And I actually saw some people complaining online. Man, that match should have been on pay-per-view. Where are we right now with fandom that you're pissed off they didn't make you pay for it? Are you serious? Well, that one should have been on pay-per-view. So you're telling me we can't have any great classic matches on Raw and SmackDown anymore? They all have to be on the fucking pay-per-view. Isn't that what we're missing right now on these shows? When's the last time you've seen anything that good in a long time on free television? Come on, man. It doesn't work out that way. Does not work out that way, man. I have one last thing to talk about. I ran down so many fucking things for this week. I want to talk a little bit, real quick, about WrestleMania weekend. Just real quick, another quick update, because it has gotten out of hand. I did an episode a few weeks ago where I laid down some stuff that was going on WrestleMania weekend up here in the Northeast, New York, New Jersey area. Every WrestleMania, indie shows and everything come around the WrestleMania area, try to capitalize on the big crowd. And it's becoming Black Friday. It's just becoming more and more and more and overdone and overdone and overdone. And there's no possible fucking way any of these fucking companies are going to generate any real fucking money on this weekend because there's just too many. I gave you guys a list a while back. But as luck would have it, I have a new list and it's updated. So I wanted to read off real quick the updated version of WrestleMania weekend. Real quick, because WrestleMania weekend begins apparently on Wednesday, and it ends the following Tuesday. So it's no longer WrestleMania weekend. Now we're talking about a literal WrestleMania week. So I'm going to go through this as quickly as possible. There's a lot of fucking names. But here we go. Wednesday, April 3rd, 2019. The time will be announced, but Battle Club Pro will run their Icons women's wrestling show. Not only is the time to be announced, location as well as to be announced still. But they have announced that they will be running Wednesday, April 3rd. Also, Wednesday, April 3rd, 8 p.m., Wrestle Pro will be running in Rahway. Thursday, April 4th, 2019, we begin at the dawn here, at noon, high noon, we begin Thursday, April 4th. Powerbomb TV Family Reunion in Jersey City, also at 12, Evolve in Queens. So, this is where we're going to start. This is what I'm talking about when I say someone's going to start losing money. So, yes, they're far apart. Jersey City and Queens are not close, but you're still generating from the same fan base pool. So what happens is you're going to thin. There's just no way. Powerbomb TV Family Reunion, Powerbomb.tv, I should say. A bit of a following. They're doing some big business, but it's Evolve, so it's going to be tough. Jersey City and Queens, respectively, at noon, Thursday, April 4th. 3 p.m., Destiny versus Fight Club Pro in Jamaica, Queens. Jamaica, Queens is pretty much going to be running every night during WrestleMania weekend. So, 3 p.m., Destiny against Fight Club Pro in Jamaica, Queens. 4 o'clock, WXW is going to be running in Queens. WXW, I believe, is that company out in Germany. They're going to be here. 4 o'clock, running directly against them. Also, Queens and Jersey City. GCW, Game Changer Wrestling, the Josh Barnett Bloodsport Show will be in Jersey City, 4 p.m. Thursday. We've got 3 7 p.m. shows that Thursday. So, choose wisely here. 7 p.m. MLW, Major League Wrestling, will be running in Queens. 7 p.m. WrestleCon Super Show in Manhattan. 7 p.m. NYWC, A Matter of Pride, also in Manhattan. I don't have addresses to those events just yet. I'm going to do more research on this as we get closer. As a matter of fact, I was planning on doing an entire episode on just this information when it gets finalized as we get closer to WrestleMania. So keep your eye on that. Right now, I'm just giving you guys a quick update so you guys can do your own research and figure out which way you want to go. So we're still on Thursday, folks. 8 p.m. DDT, that's promotion out in Japan, will be running in Queens. Also at 8 p.m. ISW, I believe that's Interspecies Wrestling, will be running in Jersey City. Another 8 p.m. show in Jamaica, Queens. Impact Wrestling will be running a taping or running a show Thursday, April 4th, 2019. Running at 11:59 p.m., technically just before midnight. AEW will be running in Jersey City. I believe that's Absolute Intense Wrestling. And 11:59, Kaiju Big Battle, Queens. Not big on Kaiju Big Battle. I've worked with them in the past. Not on their shows, but we've done joint shows with other promotions before. Not huge on it. It's comedy stuff. If you're into that sort of stuff, it's running just before midnight and in Queens. So now we run over to Friday. All right, Friday we have 2 11 a.m. shows. I am not fucking with you. These shows are at 11 a.m. WrestleCon. It'll be USA versus the World. They're running in Manhattan, 11 a.m. Also will be Shimmer in Queens. That's 2 11 a.m. shows, Friday, April 5th. We have 2 noon shows as well, as Chikara will be running in Jersey City, and noon also will be IPW UK up in Jamaica, Queens. We have 2 3 p.m. shows, WWN Super Show, Mercury Rising in Queens, and 3 p.m. we'll have Rev Pro. What is that in the background? Sorry. 3 p.m. will be Rev Pro out from the UK here in Manhattan. A lot of European countries jumping on this because it's an easy flight. They're just coming to New York. It's cheaper. So you're going to see a lot more of those. 4 p.m. Black Label Pro over in Jersey City. 4 p.m. will be a Stardom show over out in Queens. I actually may attend that one myself. 6:15 will be NXT TakeOver in Brooklyn over at the Barclay. It's going to be 7 p.m. while TakeOver is running. MLW will be running over in Queens. 8 p.m. Game Changer Wrestling presents Joey Janela's Spring Break Part 1. That might be a typo. I thought he already did a Spring Break. I'm not sure. But Jersey City, 8 p.m. 8:05. I don't know why 8:05, but there you go. Joey Ryan's Penis Party out in Manhattan. That is a thing. 11:59. Again, trying to beat that midnight timeline. Black Craft Wrestling out in Jersey City. That is Friday. We're not done here, folks. Here we are into Saturday. It's going to get fewer as we get closer. Saturday, we have 11 a.m. Wrestling Revolver, Pancakes, and Pile Drivers 3, baby. Will be running in Manhattan. It's a noon show. Noon, Nova Pro Wrestling will be running out in Jersey City. We have 2 p.m. shows. WWN Live Experience Wrap-Up in Brooklyn, 2 p.m. House of Glory will be running Jamaica, Queens. 4 p.m. IWS will be wrestling in Jersey City. 7 p.m. is the Hall of Fame. It's an estimate time. It's a Hall of Fame, so it could be any time. But they're targeting 7 o'clock in Brooklyn. 7:30, this is the big one, folks. 7:30, New Japan Pro Ring of Honor G1 Supercard, Manhattan. That's the Garden. That's the one show out of all of this that will be in the Garden. Not even the WWE will be in the Garden. It'll be New Japan Ring of Honor G1 Supercard, 7:30 p.m. Manhattan. We have a 11:59 p.m. Once again, here's the other one. Game Changer Wrestling, Janela Spring Break Part 2, Jersey City. There's an asterisk here, so I want to make sure I read this out. GCW will not start until everyone has arrived from Ring of Honor at MSG. They're giving you the chance to get from the Supercard show to the building for spring break from Manhattan to Jersey City. It's actually not that far. It's actually a pretty quick path train next to the Garden. For those of you who don't know, if you're coming to see both, if you're not from New York and you're coming to see the G1 and you don't mind going to Janela Spring Break, here's some quick advice. It's actually really easy to get to. This should not deter you. You can go to both. Here's what you do. You go to the Garden. You go see your show, Manhattan, the Garden, G1. It's going to be an awesome show. You go to that show. Immediately after it's over, you just go downstairs. Right downstairs underneath the Garden it's called Path Train. Okay? It's a New Jersey Path Train. You hop on the train. I forget what it costs, like $2 or some shit. And you hop on that. It takes you right to Jersey City. Now, where in Jersey City is the venue? I am unsure. Again, I'll have more information on that when I do the show and I do more research on it, but it's actually really easy to get to. I know people are going to sit there and say, Manhattan and Jersey City, it's going to be a lot of traffic. Not necessarily. More often than not, if you're going to the Garden, no one drives. You do not drive to the Garden. There's no parking. There's nowhere to put that car. The parking lots are expensive as fuck. You're better off putting your car literally in the East River and then just walking via water and dirt to just get to the Garden. Do not drive to Madison Square Garden. It's the dumbest thing you can do. So since you're already not driving, once the show is over, you just hop downstairs, like I said, hop on the path train, get to Jersey City. You can watch your show, and you can even path train it back. When they do big events like that, they usually increase the train service, so you should be fine. And that's the end of Saturday. Sunday, April 7th. This one was a shock. I got a message about this. Personally, I got a message about this before it became public. But at noon, Capital Wrestling will be running in Newark. And I got invited to that. So who knows? I may go, I may not go. I'm not entirely sure just yet. But noon, Capital Wrestling will be running in Newark. They're the only ones running in Newark. Everybody else here seems to be Queens, Manhattan. It says Queens and Jamaica, Queens. So who knows? There's not a whole lot of variety. I'm sure some of these are also the same building over and over and over. Just people trying to cash in on the crowd. But they'll be running in Newark. Of course, the big show, WrestleMania 35, 5:30. That is the one show on this entire weekend I am guaranteed to be at. I bought tickets to WrestleMania. Then, of course, on Monday, you have Monday Night Raw in Brooklyn, and you have SmackDown and 205 Live in Brooklyn. So that's where the New Jersey, New York connection is. The Brooklyn shows are the New York part, I guess you could say. So that is your updated card right there concerning WrestleMania weekend. Again, I will have more information as we move along here. And I'll have a whole show dedicated to this stuff because I not only want to tell you where it is, I want to explain to you why you should go. So I'm going to be talking match cards. I'm going to be talking talent. We're going to be talking a lot of indie wrestling that day. So if you want to contribute something, if you want to be a part of that show, if in any way, you let me know. You email me. You send me some messages. Send me some info. If you know something I don't, please feel free to let me know. I get that all the time. A lot of the stuff that I share on my page, guys, I get sent to me from people who listen to the show. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know everything. I'm not all encompassing. I'm not God. So if you guys know something, hit a brother up. Let me know, and we'll figure that shit out. So anyway, that's your updated stuff. We've talked a lot about what's been going on with Raw, a little Royal Rumble. We got all over the place here today. I had a little fun with this. Hope you guys had some fun too. Again, keep your eyes open for some shit I got coming out, man. I've got some shit coming out. I'm going to make some videos, let you guys know when all the web series. I'm going to be doing some more video updates. I haven't done those in a while. As a matter of fact, I think the last one I did was for the t-shirt, which you guys should be buying. prowrestlingtees.com/AJOUM. That's all you got to do. And you get yourself a nice, flattering gray tee. Anyway, we'll be talking more about that stuff. I'm going to hit you guys up with that sponsorship video. Not sponsorship, I'm sorry. I never got a chance to play the platform video, so you guys can get hit up on that. I got to make a new one of those, too, by the way. All new. I want all new. I don't want any of the old shit. I want all new stuff. So, all right, guys. So let's get that going here. So I'm going to play that commercial, and then we're going to sign off. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. Thank you for downloading, and of course, thank you for enjoying episode 7-1, baby. In over 15 countries, over several thousands of downloads, Orsini's Uncensored Mind is flying right straight through the stratosphere. It is growing every single day, and of course, you can catch the weekly releases every week, every Wednesday, 9 p.m. by going to ajoum.podbean.com. But if you cannot reach us there are many other platforms in which you can catch the show. You can check us out on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn Radio, Listen Notes, Castbox.fm. If you have any of those services, you can catch Orsini's Uncensored Mind. Again, every Wednesday, 9 p.m. Become a member of the Squad of O. It's a pretty cool group of people, and it's a pretty awesome show to listen to. And I would know because I host a show. I really need you guys to listen. Check us out.
At my house. Listen to my daddy so. Or see me in SMI.